Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
I have a surprise for you tonight. Just don't embarrass you on camera.
We're good.
All right.
Are we going?
We are on.
All right.
Happy New Year, everybody. We'd like to wish you a happy 2019.
That's going to be hard to say for a while.
I think I've been saying it for a while.
I have not. Anyway, welcome to Soapbox Union. Thank you for joining us. This is just a place where we kind of talk about everyday things, but we are being inspired by women who came before us and the women who inspire us today. And so anyway, I'm Cammie Tanner. I am the designer and the business owner of boxwoodbureau.com. And Danielle.
And I'm going to throw in a little something. This is velvety soft body butter, but it makes your body better. It is so good.
I wanted to come up with like a tongue twister for that, but it's not coming to mind.
Anyway, just a shout out. It has been amazing cream. My skin is so dry. You've just been
Well, thanks.
lovely.
And it's handmade, so I make it with love.
With tons of love.
Tons of love, but it's better for you. So that's why it's better body butter.
Yes. And this one's velvety soft, and it's kind of rosy and peony, which I like.
There you go.
But I also enjoyed my dandelion. But when I first got dandelion, I thought, I don't want to be a noxious weed. But then tell them what you told me.
What did I tell you?
You told me about dandelions.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a little story on my, by the way, just because you haven't introduced yourself yet.
Well, I was still in Boxwood Bureau. No, tell about dandelions.
It's fine. But
I'll
anyway,
come back.
so I have a little story on my site next to the Dandelion Beauty Box collection. And it's all about women who are like sunshine and the fun people and the ambitious people, because dandelions are amazing. We think of them as this noxious weed here in North America, but actually back in England and the old country, they were grown for a purpose. They are useful from crowning head, dandelion head, all the way to the roots. You can make tea out of the roots. You can eat the leaves. They have incredible nutrition. You can take the heads off and make salve and jelly, and they're incredible. So
and Cammie puts it into some lotion, and it does wonderful things. It's still the best one. My feet are actually very, very disgusting. That will be its whole episode. No, just joking.
No, because actually I could do an episode on feet.
Anyway, the dandelion is the one that has been the best for calluses and keeping my feet soft because they always crack. So I'm a fan. I'm a believer.
It's fun to hear that because I make the stuff and I love it and I just use it on my hands. But when other people start using them for different purposes, like their cow's hands, and I realize, oh, how good it actually is, then I'm like, oh, yay, that's even better anyway.
Sorry, I'm just going to share this because I never remember to do it, but I don't know how.
That's okay. Would you like to introduce yourself? Because we have not got to that portion of the
I
show.
will, but I do want to figure out. My name's Danielle Lowe. I am creator, founder, CEO, CFO, all the jobs, except for the ones that I've hired out, thank you team, of I Am Eve Events, which is a women's conference that believes in the power of story and how stories connect us, the good ones, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. It's a community of women who want to celebrate, cheer each other on, and achieve great things. No, or just
basically
achieve whatever they need to achieve.
A big version of what we're doing.
Yes.
For our show. But we're very excited, and I can't wait for it to happen because I know there's going to be a dance party at the end of it, so it's going to be really fun.
That part will be fun.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you if I have shared this? I think I
I
sent
think
out some
you have,
likes.
because look at all the likes and the
Okay.
thumbs up you're getting.
I did one for you.
So today we are going to be talking about goals and setting, because today is January 1st, the first day of 2019, and everybody does the
resolution.
There you go. And not to be cliche about it, but yes, that's what we're going to be doing on our show today and discussing and talking about. But hopefully with a little bit of a different twist, because I don't like to be mainstream. And I don't like to be like everybody else. But I know we have to talk about it, but hey, let's talk about it in a different way. So that's what we're going to try and achieve today.
Okay, so I like to be mainstream.
Do you?
I'm totally happy.
Do you like to be the sheep?
I like to be whatever
That's
I
fine.
need to be.
I like to be the sheep, but I like to be the black sheep.
Maybe
Not
I
in a
like
bad way.
a pink sheep. I don't know. Anyway,
Love it.
a dandelion sheep.
Oh, there you go.
Why limit yourself to just what's here?
Why limit? Exactly.
All right, so with this idea of goals, resolutions, I mean, some people don't even set them because next week they're already going to be broken
Guilty.
and done. Oh, sure, I have too.
Right?
But I want to talk about the idea of winning, like winning, success. When we were, like, thousands and thousands of years ago, to win was important. It was survival.
Mm-hmm.
And
It still is today.
No, I don't think it is. Like back when we were
Okay,
hunter-gatherers.
not in that sense, but in other ways, yes.
Yeah, when we were hunter-gatherers, if you didn't win, if you weren't first to the food, you didn't live. And it kind of weeded you out. But nowadays, there's enough for everyone. But we are still kind of stuck in how we define like success and winning. And as I was kind of thinking about today's topic, it reminded me of my daughter Claire, who's a really talented singer and a really good little actress. Sometimes too, we had a confabulation problem when she was younger.
Yes.
I'm like, Claire, if you say it like that, that's a flat out lie. But if you said imagine, you'd be a fantastic author. So we had a lot of those conversations. Anyway, Claire has always just been my really level-headed girl that just set really realistic expectations. And
how old is she?
12.
Oh, see, and that's pretty good for a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I love to see these younger kids are so mature.
I'm 40 and I'm just figuring out this lesson. And still set like crazy, like 20,000 goals.
Right.
Instead of just one. So anyway, it was last year and it was her first year. No, I'm 2017, not last year, 2018. Her first year of junior high, grade 6. She's trying out for the school play. And she comes home and I said, how'd you do? And she said, I think I did okay. And I said, oh, well, what happened? Tell me about it. And she said, they asked me what part I wanted in the play. And I said, it's my first year, so I'm just going to ask. I probably think a supporting role would be a great way to start. And there was part of me that was like, supporting role?
No.
Why not go for it? It was Cinderella. Why not go for Cinderella?
But that's smart.
Well, yeah. But I was thinking, is she just saying that because she was scared to try out?
No, I think that's a realistic goal because back in the day I did drama and I did theater myself and I was in 7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
You were? I love that.
I know.
Oh, yes, and the women were sobbing.
I know. It was really fun. It was a lot of fun.
Which sister were you?
I was Ruth.
Dorcas? She got married Benjamin.
I was Ruth. But
Okay.
I wanted to be one of the sisters. I didn't want to be the leading lady because it was so much more fun being one of the sisters. So for that reason, I was like, no, I don't want the leading part. First of all, I have to learn all those lines. Boring.
Yeah.
And what if I forget? I'd rather have the fun where you're being kidnapped by all the brothers and you're like, singing and dancing in your underwear in that one scene where
they say when you marry in June. I wanted to be married in June just because of that movie.
I know, it's such a classic. But anyway, I'm paralleling
Digressing.
on this because I understand. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're setting realistic goals, you're understanding that you're not setting yourself up for failure, although you should have big dreams and you should dream big.
Yeah, we're going to get to that point.
But at the same time, you should know where your limitations are and your stepping stones of how you get to the bigger goals that you know that you are mentally and physically ready for and prepared for.
Yeah, so she was sincerely happy. She was a winner.
And she had a blast, I'm sure.
Oh, she did have a blast.
And what a positive experience to go, okay, I did good at this, so now I'm ready for a little bit more.
Well, okay, so and here's the end to that story. This year she tried out for the play, and there was a few things. she just got her braces put on, so she kind of had that slushy.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing, too, is she's a great singer, but she was obsessed with Newsies this summer. And so she sang Santa Fe, which wasn't really in her key.
Can I just say, when Newsies came out, I had the biggest crush on Christian Bale. I swear I was going to marry him. Side story, anyway. Love that movie.
That's right. You don't stop dreaming.
No, I'm done with that.
Anyway, so this year she tried out for the play, and she didn't make it at all. Like, not even any role. And when I asked her, I said, "Oh, how do you feel about that?" She said, "I'm really happy because some of my friends that didn't make the play the year before made the play now." And she
Right.
was a really cheerleader and celebrator of friends. And as a mother, that made me probably the most happy, that she was sincerely happy for her friends, happy that she was going to be able to watch the production. And yeah,
That's really good.
right.
Good job, Mom.
Well,
Yay.
no, that has not
No.
much to do with me, but
But it does.
anyway,
You're teaching your kids the right way.
she's just a very realistic goal setter, and
How are you at goal setting?
well, good.
Let's talk about that.
Good and bad. Like I said, I usually set 200, and I'm good for about a month or two, and then let go of all of them. No, not 200, but I do set way too many, and then become too overwhelmed and stop.
Right.
But since I've recognized my ADD-ness, I've learned to kind of pare it down. And when it feels too overwhelming or like there's too many things happening, I choose one or like two that
Right.
I need to do.
Yeah.
And so my one right now is my time coach. I'm trying to get control of time because time doesn't live in my universe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and time is a struggle for everybody, but especially when you have ADHD, it can be really crippling to manage time. I'm a micro goal setter. I set micro goals all the time throughout my day, but I am not a big goal setter. Although I'm a big dreamer, but I think there's a difference between the big dreamer and the big goal setter. But I can remember from a very young age, like we're talking probably 8, 9, 10 years old, I did that whole resolution thing. Like, okay, it's New Year's. What is your New Year's resolution going to be? And you do something, and then you'd never achieve it. You'd always fail after probably a couple days at that age. Like you never even follow through. And so I can remember at a very young age going, screw it, this is dumb. What's the point? Because everybody fails anyway. And so for the rest of my life, up until even now, I refuse to make New Year's resolutions. I am highly against it, but that's because of me, because I'm just so bad at it. But I am learning now that I need to make goals, especially when you have your own business and you're an entrepreneur. It is crucial to have goals because otherwise you're never going to get anywhere. You're not going to progress. You're not going to get to the next level and the next level if you don't set your sights on something first.
Super tangible.
And get that stepping stone in place to be able to go, oh, I'm at the top. Okay, I made it. Yay, thanks for goal setting. Step by step. So,
baby,
no,
gotta get to you, girl.
What did you do over Christmas? Because you were breaking into song and dance over everything.
Well, you did mention Seven Brides for Seven Brothers,
Yes.
which we watched religiously for about 2 or 3 years of my life.
Yes, so
And
did I.
We acted out every scene.
Yes,
Yes.
I know.
Except for we did fast forward through like Millie's singing and Adam's. And
Yeah,
things like,
I did not like her vibrato on the show as whatever.
Anyway,
We are digressing.
we totally are. With goal setting, same kind of thing. It's been in and out of my life in different areas. But when I started doing direct selling, well, actually, when I first started, I just did it as a hobby and ended up spending a lot of money. And when it kind of came down to looking at finances, my husband, he gave up golfing. And I said, I'm not giving this up because it's a business. And he said, for a business, it's not making much money. So I said, okay, well, how about this? I'm going to earn the incentive trip. And it was an all expense paid trip to Maui.
Oh,
and
nice. Did you get it?
Well, let me tell you.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
So I took, they had a sales goal and a recruiting goal. And I looked at it, and I even broke it down to how much I'd have to sell every day and how many people I'd have to add to my team every week. And when I first put all the numbers out,
were you overwhelmed?
Totally overwhelmed. I mean, I went from
You're like,
selling
how
zero
am I ever going to do this?
Anyway, that year, and you have to, when you set a goal, you have to track it and record it. There is something magical about writing down numbers or like yes or no's.
When you're visual, oh boy, does it make an impact.
Not even just visual. You need to
for
see
me
it
does.
in order to say, like, yesterday was bad. Well, if you look, you didn't call your 10 people that you said you would, or you contacted 3 of them. You need those like sheer facts because our minds hold to negative.
Goal, okay, so I'm so glad you said that because we are trained as a society to see failure as a scary thing. I mean, you look at everything in the movies or in any aspect of life, when there's a tragedy or a failure, it's huge and it's devastation and it's this big impact that can ruin your life instead of seeing things as a way to improve or get better.
Well, and actually our brains will hold on to negative thoughts way more than they will positive. We'll have to say, if a bad thing happens to us, we will tell the story 10 times. And if a good thing happens to us, we'll tell it 3 times.
Yeah.
I can't remember where that's from, but it's just not. There was a study.
It's true.
And
We hold on to
We hold on to
negativity.
negative, and if you don't see the numbers in front of you, you'll give up on your goal because it's not tracked. And you'll just kind of let it go. Anyway.
So there's this cute little...
Wait, I have to tell you, I went to Maui with my husband. He was the biggest doubter of my business. And when I saw the numbers, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to give this up. I don't want to. Because I really believe in recording stories, the power of story. And let's be honest, no one says, this is the worst day of my life. Where's my camera? They just take happy memories and all those happy, good photos and working with people who wanted to put that in their lives. That was really rewarding. And after he did, we stayed in like the most beautiful hotel. Like Oprah stayed in the same one. The only thing, if you stay in too nice of hotels, they nickel and dime you on everything. It was $60 a night for internet.
What?
Internet.
They charged you for internet? How long ago was this?
2000 and I know, like, no, it was when everyone provides free, like, we only stay at the, like, breakfast included and free internet.
Okay.
Anyway, needless to say, we've never stayed there again.
Have you been back to Maui?
Hawaii, not Maui.
Oh, okay. But still, that's a great story on goal setting.
And with that, like the next one, I did a trip to Ireland, and
girl, you've been everywhere.
Well, no, it's the company closed down, or else I would never be Soapbox Union or I Am Eve Events.
Maybe they should have set better goals.
That's right.
Lesson for them.
Okay, if you are just joining us, we are Soapbox Union. But personally, my name is Danielle Lowe, and I am creator of I Am Eve Events, and I am so excited for Women's Conference February 9th, 2019, right here in our city with amazing speakers, stories, activities. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be fun.
Buy your tickets.
There you go. We don't put plugs in for anything.
For nothing. Or if you want body butter.
So we're talking about resolutions and goal
introduce
setting. Oh, by the way, I'm Cammie Tanner. I am the owner of boxwoodbureau.com. There you go.
Oh, and we should say we'd like to shout out to Jess FM that hosts our show.
Right.
And you should like this page, share it with all your friends. And you can also watch us on YouTube channel, which I think is Jess FM.
And make comments, because we love to hear from you and see how we're doing or how you guys think we're doing. Or maybe you guys have some things that you want us to talk about. And so share.
Oh, and I will tell you one of my goals this year. It is to watch a full episode of Soapbox Union.
You still have not?
I watched most of it.
Oh,
you know
dear.
what? The first 2 episodes, this drove me nuts. I was making myself dizzy, so I had to just let it go and be like, and
Please
set
don't
it-
sing the song.
Oh, I was.
Oh, you didn't even get it.
I didn't. No, I wasn't gonna let it go.
Okay, you were going to break out into song. No, don't. So
that's my goal, to actually watch the whole thing.
So that's your
and-
goal for this year.
Well, no, I have other goals, but that's my goal for Soapbox Union.
To watch one episode.
No, every episode. If I'm gonna sit up here and think people should watch me, I should
watch
actually
yourself.
do the thing.
Okay. So you talked about your goal. What's your big goal for this year? Because we need to talk about or introduce into what our goals are for this year. Because I did say that I am not a goal setter for January 1st but I did make one.
You did?
I did.
Good girl.
And it's my first one in, I don't want to tell how old I am, but
I'm 40. I'll just throw it out there.
Are you?
I'm older than
oh my gosh, I almost said 49. I'm 39.
Whoa. One girl I know, Renee, and I threw that out too. She celebrated her 40th. She did a whole thing on Facebook, and she kept saying, my 40th birthday, yeah, hooray! And I thought, that's what I'm doing. I'm celebrating all year long. So it's still my 40th
Is she
birthday.
really?
No, she's older now. It was a few years
but
ago.
when she did turn 40.
But she did turn 40, and I
Okay.
thought, that's how I'm going to turn 40. So it's still my birthday. I'm accepting presents.
Here, have some body butter. You're welcome.
Cammie actually did give this to me. It wasn't for my birthday, but I helped at the trade show that you
Yeah,
did.
you
in.
did. You were in
And
debt. You were a hard little worker that day.
I'm setting a goal to get 40 birthday presents. 39.
How much more time have we got till you earn one more present?
I don't know. It could be any time. Okay. Well, are we talking?
So I'll talk
You
about,
talk about your goal.
I'll talk about my
Your
goal.
Did you write it down?
No.
A goal not written down is just a wish. Write it
Oh,
down.
fudge. I'll write it as soon as I get home.
No, write it
So
down.
my goal
Here.
is...
Here. Cammie's going to write her goal.
Un momento, por favor. We're going to write
Because-
a goal.
And I'll
Do you
just
want me to wrap it up and then...
You can
I'll-
do whatever you want.
No, just kidding.
I'll tell. When you set a goal, a SMART goal should be specific. That's the S. The M should be measurable, so some way to kind of keep track of it. So if you're going to set a goal to be happy, you have to kind of define what happiness looks like or how that would look for you in your life. And then, so specific, measurable. I think the A is achievable, or I'm going to have to do a
Okay,
little.
so I have
Agree,
mine.
attainable, achievable. R is realistic
This is realistic.
and time-based. It has kind of an end.
Okay, cool.
Does it work? And it's written down. I didn't look at it. I can't read.
Don't look at my goal until I tell you.
Okay, should I close my eyes?
No, silly girl. So I am so terrible at social media.
Is this the drum roll?
And yet social media is vital to a business. And it's free marketing, so duh, why wouldn't you want to use it? So I am horrible because I am 39, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are my age or older that are on their phones and they're like, poo, 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 poo. You know, like they're just doing
a
their
minute.
thing. And I feel like, okay, how many hashtags should I use and what's a hashtag? I actually didn't know what a hashtag was until I watched the Justin Timberlake and the, on Late Night Show, and they were like doing their little hashtag skits, and I was like, oh, that's what a hashtag
I
is.
learned why people do hashtags, though, because you can search them. And so they come
Yes,
out
that's
in
right.
searches.
I learned all that too. But anyway, so now it's like I'm a slow learner and I'm starting to finally understand everything. So I'm feeling very old because I'm so out of sorts with social media, although I am taking courses and I am learning and I'm getting better. So it makes me feel better. But I need to be better at my posting and following other people and commenting on other people and getting more likes
so
and
funny.
shares. And so this, excuse me, I'm not finished yet.
Oh, you've interrupted me all the time. I just have to say, I set this goal like all the time. Can I tap you? I set this goal all the time, and everyone's like, I need to use it less. I'm like, oh, mine is always more. But hooray. Okay,
Yeah,
continue.
Okay, so I want to be a rock star at social media. So I want to be posting on my Instagram story. I want to be posting at least
So is that
once a day.
your goal?
It is. And
To
it's,
be a rock star? A social
a
media
social media.
rock star.
And I want to be
Hashtag
able
social media rock star.
Hashtag social media rock star. Yes, and then to grow my business via social media and get. So I launched 2 months ago, and I don't have very many followers because I have horrendously failed at my social media efforts for my business. And so I don't have very many followers. Like, we're in the 3-digit numbers here. And
3-digit? That means hundreds?
yeah, 100. So I want to have at least 2,000 followers by the end of the year, which that's super, super attainable.
Soapbox Union.
But
We are going to get 2,000 followers. That's my own song.
what did you do for New Year's last night? She's in the Kool-Aid bowl all too long down there.
That's right. It's actually pretty quiet.
Just kidding.
Settlers of Catan. Oh,
Oh, there you go. So anyway, I am going to be a rock star at social media this year. Mark my words.
better at social media. I think we could do better than 2,000.
Okay, well, again, stepping stones. I didn't. Want
Okay,
to go.
yeah.
I didn't want to say
See,
I'm
this
gonna
is-
have 10,000 followers because then I would go, whoops, that was a little.
Okay, so, well, here's the thing, because this is it. That's a very clear goal.
And if anybody wants to help me, I'm putting a plug out there. Help me.
That's right. And I should, for I Am Eve, I didn't put a goal on that. I
What?
just have let it happen. With my, I probably am under 100 of followers or likes. But, yeah.
So sometimes we set goals and they don't always work. Sometimes we fail, which happens a lot. And we talked about this earlier that, you know, we inevitably are going to fail. It's going to happen. I read this quote from, who was it? Hold on, I got it right here. It was from, low battery. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hold on, little buddy.
I know. So I was reading about all these women who are crazy powerful, totally successful, but yet they had so many failures and things that they had to go through. But anyway, it was Anna Wintour, who is like the editor-in-chief for Vogue magazine, and she's absolutely fabulous. Anyway, she says, it's important to have setbacks because that is the reality of life. Do you hear that, friends? She says, failure is fine. And I think that's a great little catchphrase. So I always go back to that movie. Do you remember Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah.
Okay. I always thought that was the cheesiest message from the story, where they would do like this little song that was,
I don't know.
hey, you failed! Hey, you failed! And they were all excited, like, that was a failure! Yay for you! And I thought, this is so dumb. Like, I don't even want to watch this. But now that I'm older, okay, I watched this when my kids were little, so I was older. But as I've matured, I've understood the underlying message of that movie. Yeah, you know what? I almost embrace failure now because I learned so much from my mistakes. And if I did everything perfect right off the bat, where's the growth and where's the fun and where's the challenge? I actually love a challenge, and so I always am wanting a little bit of failure because I want to know how to improve or make something better.
I can't say I want failure.
Oh.
I feel like it comes easy enough that I don't need to want it.
I do look for it. I do look for it.
No, it's still something. I just read the book mindset. And she talks about how people that embrace failure will actually do harder problems, like try different things that are tough, that will look at it as opportunity, and all that I agreed with. But as I see it kind of acting out in my life, there's still times where it just, ugh. But I do like it, and I am realizing that that's part of the journey and of the excitement, because no problems is completely boring.
It's true. And when you can learn to love the journey, then you're going to love the failures involved in that, because you're going to look at it.
Well, because you'll know they're coming.
Yeah.
You'll be like, this is just a new way to be extra creative.
Where's our easy button? Because you don't want to have that.
That was easy.
That was easy. That's so boring.
Except for when you hit the button.
But
that was easy.
No, but I'm saying when you're doing something or you're creating something and it works out perfectly the first time, you just kind of go, okay, well, great. Check off the list, and okay, what's the next thing? I almost want to go, yeah, I'm not quite satisfied with that, or I don't like how that turned out, or I realized that wasn't the right way to do it, and hey, I got a learning curve here, and so let's go figure out how to do it the right way, or how to go make it better, or how to improve on it.
Who to ask, where to get more skills.
YouTube. No kidding, no joke. Just before I came on the show, or we came to the show, I was watching YouTube videos on how to train grapevines, because
How to train grapevines?
Hello. That's how you get maximum growth with minimum vines. I have grapevines, and I love grapevines, and I make my own grape juice from the grapes that I grow in my garden. And in the winter, you're supposed to train them or trim them when they're dormant. But mine are a little, they're a little crazy. It's like they have like crazy hair. So I'm trying to train them so they have that pretty vineyard. Like they come up and they just trickle, and all the grapes just dangle down, and then you just snip, snip, snip. So
Well,
that's what I'm doing.
about-
I YouTube everything, and I learn, and I get knowledge, and I figure out the best ways to do stuff from the experts. Anyway.
On YouTube?
I YouTube
No,
everything.
there is a lot on YouTube. I do use YouTube a lot, but I like the buddy system. I try and find someone who I can talk to or collaborate with. So in running a convention, which I've never done
That's daunting.
to this scale before, I've done scrapbooking conventions, but usually we were
That's
linked.
a thing?
Yeah.
No way. Okay.
Anyway, on to and I was always part of a team, so it was never just me. And sometimes in this process, even today, I thought, I'm running out of time. And when I kind of feel that panic or that little bit of failure, I think, who's the next person I need to call? Who has this superpower? And I'm still, I have some phone calls to make tonight about decorator superpowers. So if you have a superpower of decorating, what's our hashtag? It was Rockstar Social Media.
Social media rockstar.
Social Media Rockstar. No, Social Media Rockstar designer of.
There you go.
No, most of them have kind of been falling through. So I thought, oh, okay. But I have a few names now that I'm going to go with, and we'll see how it goes. But there is something that's still, I think I'm a pleaser, and I really like to be like applauded and thanks, you're doing great. And that's a hard thing to fall out, like to let go of. I mean, I let go of it all the time.
Especially when everybody nowadays, they are actually wanting you to fail. No, there's a.
They are?
Oh yeah, there's very few.
Not at I Am Eve, not in Soapbox Union.
That's why you have
We
to
cheer
go.
you on.
No, but it's true. How many people look to tear other people down, and because we're so self-conscious, we're looking to tear other people down to make ourselves feel better without actually going out there and being successful ourselves. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So so it's. I think we've just become very used to that. Oh my gosh, her nose is so big, or she can sing. She's a singer, but ooh, look at her hair, or like just
what I never realized is when I was less secure in my own skin, is when I was the meanest about others. When I couldn't cheer sincerely for someone because they had something better than I did.
Yeah.
I looked at it that because they're really good and strong, I must be weak and awful. And so there was this one teacher, and he was so dynamic, and people would always flock to him. And I remember thinking in my head, ugh, like, doesn't he think he's so great? And it's only been that as I've returned to teaching that I wanted to go into his classroom and see what he was doing and why parents and teachers and students loved him. And as I could just embrace and cheer for all the good that he brought, so man or woman, whatever, if you can cheer for them, not only was he so giving and helping, but I thought he didn't change at all. That was my perspective changing. So I think you're right. Like, my one girlfriend says, if your joy is only for as big as you, that's not very much joy.
Yeah.
But it can double if I have for you.
It can double.
It can triple. And actually, as a substitute teacher, I always say to kids, this is the most important thing you might ever learn in your life. And then we go from, like, them to, like, each other to this class to Lethbridge to Canada.
It's true, but I think that we should, because there is that fine line of wanting people to fail, but then there's also the other side of it, of the coin, where you want to look to other people's failures for drive and inspiration. And I do that a lot because, especially being a business owner, it is inevitable you're going to fail. Entrepreneurs have failure, and it is hard to be a business owner. But when I go on and I look at other women's stories, you look at, for example, Vera Wang, she stands out to me. She was actually, she wanted to be a figure skater, and she didn't make the Olympic team, and so then she went into the fashion industry, and now she is like the iconic wedding dress designer. And who knew, because of her failure from one thing, where it led her to have great success. And then I think of other people where, Lisa Kudrow, she's another one where she had, she went out for auditions and she failed and failed and failed, and then she finally got a role on Frasier, and then 2 days later or something, they fired her, and she was devastated, and she was like, my career is over, and it ended. And then she went on and had an audition at Friends and has become hugely successful because of that. And so you have to look at, and I'm not just saying we have to look at celebrities, but those are the ones that are publicly out there that you can easily find. And so I look to those where I go, okay, I'm feeling really crappy today because I had some bad stuff happen and things just aren't going right, and this is so hard. But then I read other people's stories and go, that was hard for them, and look where they are now. They overcame it, they got through it, they did it. It's like, okay, I just got to push a little bit more, and I got to put one step in front of the other.
That's a growth mindset.
It's a growth mindset.
It's just saying, this is inevitable, this will happen, and how am I going to think of a new solution?
Problem solving is, it's crucial for getting through life.
Yeah.
Not just as a business owner, an entrepreneur, but problem solving will help you grow.
So I have to tell you about one of my favorite women.
Okay.
And I just found out when I was kind of reviewing her life, she has a girl born on November 7th. The same, my baby's born on November 7th.
Aww.
I'm like, had I known, I would have named her Marie, or Lucy Marie, but she's Lucy Jean. Anyway, Mary Curie, that's her married name, but I can't pronounce her Polish maiden name. But when she was growing up, this was at a time where women weren't really educated. But her father was a school teacher, and he taught all his daughters, and they wanted to go to university so bad. But at the time, they were under Russian rule, and so they would go to these secret universities. And her sister, which I love because I love sister stories too, made a pact, and they said Mary Curie worked as a governess and paid for her sister to go to school because they had to go to Paris to go to university. And for 5 years-ish, she pays for her sister, and then finally her sister brings her over to Paris. And she's studying for the year, and she's almost going to have to go back home when she meets Pierre, and they marry, and they start working and going to work, and they discover polonium, named after Poland, right, her home country, and radium. And she just has this mind of mathematics and science in a time where women weren't even educated, let alone in subjects like science, science and math weren't seen as feminine at all. And she was just a pusher. And even today, some of those
I love these women that break boundaries.
Yeah,
and
break boundaries and don't let things
and the stereotype,
stop them.
yeah.
Like that's what's so, that Cinderella story of overcoming is part of everyone's life. And we don't always share that part, but it's a narrative that's common to all of us.
We can all relate to it. Yeah.
In any way. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love stories like that. I love seeing these women, like Amelia Earhart comes to mind.
Yeah.
She became this innovative aviator in her time when women did not fly airplanes, or that was a man's world. That was a man's area, and she broke all the boundaries or barriers to aviation. And
one thing that I really like about Mary Curie too is that she ended up having 2 daughters. So did I. I'm practically should study in physics and math. Just joking.
Maybe you're her reincarnation.
Anyway, she still had children, and she taught those girls, and they were also awesome in physics and I think a lot of that belief and just pushing through has a lot to do with the way I have jumped 2,000 subjects.
But you're not going to do it unless you're ready to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing is making sure you're in that mindset and that mind frame that you're ready to do it. I know the things that I'm doing now, I was not ready to do 10 years ago, and it wouldn't have worked, and I wouldn't have been successful at it because I wasn't ready. It wasn't my time.
Yeah. Even so, last summer, not this summer, but summer before, I came home and I said to my husband, Dave, I know I'm a teacher. That part I know. I feel like the universe has said,
Put
you're
you
a
on that
teacher.
path.
Yeah, I love teaching. I love people. I love exchange and stories. And I said, I'm a teacher, and I don't know if that means for District 51. So then I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to jump in and see. And right away, District 51 had like 5 or 6 job postings that I was completely qualified to teach. And I think I even got a few interviews right away. And my first interview was awful. It was like an hour. And when I met with the principal after and said, what can I learn? He said, well, how do you think it went? And I said, I know when you asked me to describe my ideal classroom, and I didn't say anything about student learning. I just described the
all the girls were in pink and all the boys were in blue.
No. It was a really zen classroom where we had like plants and jobs. It was great, but I forgot to mention student learning. And I knew I had done that. I just assumed that was
a given. Of course they're going to learn when I'm teaching because I'm a superstar teacher. It's just inevitable.
No. But you finally get to a place where you know kids. Like as a mother, and as I've always stayed in the school systems volunteering, and I got to a place where I really wanted to be a teacher. I felt like I fell into teaching and not chose teaching.
That's
but
good.
when it all came back around full circle, I thought, no, now I'm choosing it, and now the universe is saying no. So I had every time I failed, I would buy myself something. So I started with a purse. And then I kept buying myself teacher shoes. But after like the 4th pair of teacher shoes, which I did get some amazing teacher shoes.
Because you're thinking, if I buy the teacher shoes, I'll get the teaching job.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
Totally. And by about the 4th pair of shoes, I thought...
Dave said, let's just stop the interviews.
No! I went on to dresses. I went to like total Miss Frizzle. I'll wear one of my dresses next week. I have a few, and I'll wear some shoes. But I have a new purse, a boxwood bureau. tote, so I got rid of that. But anyway, finally I just said, you know what? I'm not going to apply for any more jobs. I'm just going to let this go. And the other thing is I've always taught in French immersion, and I wanted to teach in English. And they kept telling me, you just don't have enough experience. But I'm an Anglophone.
So stick with what you know.
I'm an Anglophone. All my school's been in English. Like, how do I not have enough English experience?
Can I just say, I could never understand that word. I know we learned it in school, but I always picture this phone thingy coming up to your ear.
Francophone, Anglophone.
I know, it's just weird. Anyway, that was
well, phone probably got its name because of hearing, right? Phone.
I understand that, and I understand where the name comes from, but I always had this imagery in my mind.
It is a weird, I get what you're saying. Anyway, long story short, I finally said not interviewing anymore, kept subbing, and they called me up and offered me the exact job I wanted. And I thought, okay,
Perfect.
maybe I'm a teacher. But they kind of phrased it where this is to prepare you for your next job.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, that job that I was working at got posted twice, and they didn't hire me for it twice. And then the job that I left, I was a music teacher, the job that I left came up, and I even applied for that. Finally, I finally said to Dave in the summer, we were in the Atlantic provinces,
Okay.
and I said, Dave, I know I'm not a teacher for District 51. And I kid you not, the next day, phone call, would you like a permanent contract? And I said, you're going to think I'm crazy because all year I've been begging you. I didn't even care. I've taught high school. I liked it. I taught junior high. I liked it. I taught elementary. Liked it all. But they offered me a job, and I said, no, I'm not a teacher for you. I just found that out yesterday. So thanks.
Yay! Good for you.
Anyway, but then I thought, well, what am I going to do? And that's when I am Eve Events. I'm going to teach women. I won't give you a report card. I actually won't even teach you. I hired other people to teach you. And I'm just going to listen. I'm just going to listen. I've always wanted to be paid
But you're going
to
to
listen
just
to people's
take that
stories.
all in and just know, hey, I created this, and I did this, and I put this together. And that's where your
Yeah,
gratification
and just the idea of that community of, and I won't have to talk to your parents.
Yeah.
They won't care if you learn or not.
So goal setting, as we can see, is really important because it gives us a point to go to achieve, but setting realistic goals. So one thing that I have gotten into as I've begun my goal setting journey is I've learned something called mind movies, and I don't know if anybody else out there knows or has heard of them or has done them, but I recently discovered it this summer, and they are amazing. And they're just powerful because if we want to see our our future, we have to be able to visualize it. And I think having a tangible visual, does that make sense? A tangible visual, but it's a true thing, I promise, because I made it up, is really important because if you can actually see where you're wanting to go and see what you're wanting to achieve, then it gives you more motivation to know it's real and it's possible because I can see it. So
yeah, and clearly defined. I think that's part of the.
So you can go. Mindmovies.com is the website, but I actually just kind of did my own via iMovie on my iPad. So what you do is you take pictures of things that you want, and I did this for my business, is you take pictures of things that you want and you put a caption under it, and then you put it to a song that's very empowering.
What song did you choose?
Burning Gold by Christina Perri. I love that song.
I don't think I know Burning Gold.
Yeah, but it's all about kind of, you don't?
I know,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
This is your goal for tonight.
Let me write it down.
But anyway, so I put this mind movie together, and I put very specific things to my goals that I wanted to achieve. And lo and behold, some of them have happened. And things that I swear I never thought would happen have happened. So I did things.
Are you going to tell about me? Just
You know, it's funny, honestly, the story of how we've met, and actually that will be another show of the way that life happens. But I truly believe when you put things out there in the universe and you ask for them, that they come back when you're putting out those good energies, those good vibes and karma or whatever you want to call it. I truly believe it. So I made my mind movie in October when I started my business because I wanted to do my movie for my business. And I did very specific things like, for example, the right people will come into my life at the right time to help me achieve what I... OMG, don't make me cry. But anyway, I know, it's so true. And then another one that I put in there was that my life would become a platform for a TV show. And I know, right? A month later, this literally fell in my lap. Yeah. And so, I just got goosebumps. So I just believe in setting those goals and making these mind movies because they are so incredibly powerful that I've learned firsthand that I've heard the stories. So I was like, yeah, right, whatever. And I'm just going to do it and try it. And you're supposed to watch it every night. And it is blown me away what has actually happened and come forth in my life.
Well, and I think the clearer you can define what happiness or success or winning looks like and how that would be manifest in your life is then you can know the next step to take to achieve that. And so if you just say, like, I know a lot of my life I've thought, I just, like, there was no, not purpose, because there was purpose, but just no intention. And I find that just taking time to, like, our emotions kind of give us a bookmark of, like, of where our intentions are. And so if you're feeling kind of blah or, any of those emotions that are kind of sad or frustrated, I would say reevaluate what is success or happiness or winning. And it doesn't have to look like your movie on a platform. That's like your life on a... I don't know how you said that.
No, I totally...
But I found that as soon as I can define how happiness looks, I'm way more able to achieve it in all aspects of my life.
Yeah, so I'm excited to kind of see what more transpires out of the goals that I've set. So I will talk really quick about how you and I know each other, because
although we seem like we've been lifelong besties,
not true. Not true.
Was never.
But I knew Dave, her husband, in high school. We run with the same crowd and we hung out. And then after high school, in that kind of university, young adult age, we knew of each other because you're from a very small town outside of Lethbridge, but when you came
McGrath.
McGrath. But when you came in.
Is that like too secret to say? They're going to be stalking?
But you came in, but you kind of ran in like that.
The cool crowd? Just no, I wasn't.
Totally. But so I knew of you, but we never really hung out.
No.
And then fast forward to now.
No, not even fast forward to now. There's a little time out.
Is there? Oh, yes.
It was back in McGrath.
Yes, because when I first moved back from North Carolina, I had a hair accessory business, which I was designing hair accessories, and
they were completely adorable,
manufactured. And by the way, I don't have it anymore. So if you were going to go look for it, don't, because it's not there anymore. But anyway, so I was selling these hair accessories, and you came and bought some, and I remember going, "Oh, that's Danielle Rawlingson." Oh, can I say her last name? Okay, sorry. And I was like, oh yeah, she married Dave Lowe. And so I can kind of remember who you were, and I knew a little bit about you, but I didn't really know who you were. And then you bought my hair accessories, and you love them, and your little girls still have them. And
well, no, because I'll tell you, I've been getting rid of lots of things that we don't use or wear, and for whatever reason, I know the reason, I have never gotten rid of those. And we don't wear them that often, but I actually almost wore it tonight, and I should have.
Oh, that would have been perfect. That's now we're talking about.
I know, but I didn't know we were going to talk about it.
That's okay.
But I was even looking at them, and I know I've said this to you, is that I have held on to those headbands because they are adorable. But the girls don't wear them like they did, And every
But
now
there
and-
was some intent to it.
Yeah, and that I just thought, oh, Cammie, I have kept those.
I know. So now fast forward again to now. So actually it was December 3rd is when it was. So one of my friends from high school who I've kind of always, Lily, who I've kind of always
Who
kept in
is
contact
my
with a
time
little bit.
coach? Who's
Yes.
speaking at IME?
So, and this is random too, even how you got back in contact
Yeah.
with Lily. So she called me up, totally random. I probably hadn't heard from her in a year and a half. And in my personal life, I have some hard things that I'm dealing with, that I'm going through. And she randomly texted me and she goes, "How's it going, Cammie? How are you?" And I saw it and I went, "Ah," and I started crying, and I called her up and we talked for an hour and a half, and I spilled my story to her, and she goes, "Cammie, what can I do to help you?" And I said, "Honestly, Lily, you can't help me with what I'm having to go through and deal with, but I just started a business, and if you could help me with that, that's what I need help with." So she threw a party, and she says, "Cammie, I'm doing a party for you. We're going to do it at my house. We're going to do a trunk show. You're going to be the designer that brings her stuff and sells it." And she was amazing. We had about 20 women out to her house,
it was
and I
awesome.
went, "What? Lily, you are like
And
the-
I was
the
one of
stuff."
those women.
And so you came, and she just put it out on Facebook, like, "Hey, Cammie's doing a show. Come to my house." Blah blah. And she did this all within a week. And you showed up.
Well,
and
and-
Lily told me afterwards that like you and her really didn't have any connection. Like you guys never hung out or
No,
either.
yes.
And so you just randomly decided, "Hey, I'm going to go to Lily's house because I
No, it
remember
wasn't
Cammie."
that. I actually had, when IME started, it wasn't a solo career, because I know I am not a solo
That's right.
career kind of person.
That's
and
right, you
so
had a partner.
I did have a partner, and just life didn't work out for her to still be part of it. But she's helping in some behind the scenes, and she helped make all the initial decisions, which is for me
Yeah,
the craziest part. It would
which helped you out.
Yeah.
So
and-
here just is.
And she,
the
I
goal
didn't
setting
see
and the
I didn't
thing.
see the event. She tagged me and said, she called me up and said, "We're going and we're going to talk to this woman because her bags are stinking cute, and she's going to be at our event." And I want
I
her,
didn't know that.
and I want her to, yeah, that
was
was
crazy,
And
so-
I want her to have do a bag, and she's like, "We're buying bags."
So here we come to the night of the party, and Danielle comes, and I was like, and I thought you and Lily were, like tight, and because you were hanging out after, and like you and me and Lily were just hanging out in our living room talking after everybody had left, and then I realized you have ADHD, just like I have ADHD.
We're
and we're very,
ADHD
very similar.
twins. Hashtag rockstar ADHD. Social
Hashtag
media.
ADHD twins. Anyway,
Social media rock stars.
so here we like come back full circle to I put these goals out of I wanted the right people to come into my life at the right time. I wanted to have a TV show, and boom, Danielle walked back into my life, and now we're doing a TV show together. And isn't it just crazy how things happen when you have
And I
the
had dry
desire
skin. And
and realistic goal. Well, actually, I didn't think a TV show would be realistic for like 5 years, and a month later,
here we
just fell
are.
into my lap.
Jess
So-
FM.
Yay, Jess! And it's so much fun. And maybe nobody watches us and nobody cares, but this is my growth.
Maybe it's for future generations.
Who
We will be the
knows?
Madame Curies of.
Danger loves in danger.
They'll be like, "Whoa, look at this retro video."
But I think we have come to our time. Hopefully you learned something from us, and hopefully you're going to make some realistic goals. But go out there and just check out my movies, and go out there
Oh, I
and
thought you
set
said my movies. But check out my movies.
Check
too.
it out because it worked for me. Mind movies worked for me. Like hooked on phonics. But setting realistic goals and understanding that failure does happen, and
embracing the failure.
is fine. Failure is just fine. Anyway, so thank you for
Plus,
joining
it makes
us.
it way more relatable. People like you better if you can just say, "I'm not that great. I suck at a lot of things."
I am that great, so speak for yourself.
That's right. That's why you only have 3-digit followers. Just kidding. All right. Well, we're going to sign out. I'm Danielle of I Am Eve Events. Don't forget to buy your tickets.
And I'm Tammy Tanner from BoxwoodBureau.com, and together we are Soapbox Union.
Do we almost have a sign?
No,
Soapbox Union.
we are not having a sign.
A secret handshake. And we'd like to thank Jess FM for providing us with your dreams.
With my dreams. Sprinkle.
So go ahead, like the page, watch us on YouTube, and share it. And set those goals, and we're excited to see what... Oh, I did want to say, wait, one last thing.
Okay.
I met a girl at a Christmas party, and I said, what's 2019 going to be for you? And she said, ordinary. And then that became my new mantra.
Sarah McLachlan, Ordinary Miracle.
Right.
Another song, go listen to it. Anyway, boom. We are out. Thank you, and we will see you guys next week.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.